You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Getting the wind knocked out of you? Here's why. Mars conjunct the South Node and the Tower card. Daily horoscope for Wednesday and Thursday, October 4th through the 5th, 2023. Good morning, friends. A few updates and reminders before we get into it. Thank you to those who submitted a question for the Fun and For You tarot card reading. I will be recording that this week and hopefully getting that published soon, so keep your eyes out for it. Also, if you haven't done so already, please check out the new referral program to earn rewards for sharing the newsletter. It's a lovely way to support me and my work. It benefits you as well and helps the community to grow. I am currently brainstorming a whole new content creation plan strategy for the AstroMommy Newsletter, YouTube channel, and social media presence. So I will let you know what the new changes will be and how they will affect you as soon as I have a solid plan in place. But I am considering switching out the weekend report for an impromptu weekend overview video or coffee time with AstroMommy and card reading instead of something written. And I am also coming up with a game plan for new horror question videos, celebrity chart readings, and tarot reading videos for my YouTube channel, as well as some astrology reaction videos, etc. And scrapping the cross-post of the newsletter read aloud to YouTube. Lots of wheels turning in this brain of mine. Of course, I will still be putting out the daily horoscopes 3 times per week here on Substack. This is not surprising to me since the nodes have shifted into my 5th and 11th houses, bringing up a huge focus on content creation for my audience, which would be you guys. If you have any ideas for the newsletter, YouTube content, or the like, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas. You can reply to the newsletter, leave a comment, or write me an email at astromommyastrology@gmail.com. Although commenting here on Substack is for the paid tier only, did you know that you can comment on YouTube or reply to the email newsletter without being a paid subscriber? You can always send me an email as well. So, if you have comments and suggestions and are currently a free subscriber, you can use one of those other means to share your thoughts. Okay, let's get into the astrology. All times are in Eastern Time unless mentioned otherwise. On Wednesday, the moon will be in Gemini all day, so there could be the desire to talk, socialize, and get mentally into things. It's always a very busy time, the Gemini moon. It's like playtime for our minds, and it may be harder than normal to sleep or feel grounded. It's like the collective has a bad case of ADD, and there are squirrels everywhere. The first bookend to Wednesday is the moon in Gemini perfecting a sesquiquadrate to Pluto and Capricorn retrograde, meaning that the previously hidden and now exposed information is nagging at our minds and hearts, possibly consuming our thoughts a bit. We may be obsessing over it a bit. Then at 8:06 a.m., Mercury in Virgo forms a sesquiquadrate of his own to Jupiter in Taurus retrograde, indicating that our ability to see the big picture and how everything will fit together is short-sighted, like when you pull back the rug to clean under it and realize you forgot the dustpan. You brought the broom, but how are you going to get all that crap swept up without a dustpan? So your long-term plan of exhuming the mysterious findings from under the rug has been delayed by the simple fact that you forgot the right tools for the job. Instead of getting all the dirt and dead skin neatly swept up and thrown away, you are now forced to continue to look at it until a dustpan appears. The moon still in Gemini makes a sextile to Chiron in Aries retrograde at 9:50 a.m., and this transit allows our minds to ponder the thoughts as to why we may have forgotten the dustpan. Was there a deeper reason, a lesson to be learned from this act of carelessness? It's an opportunity to check in with yourself and forgive yourself. Then at 12:06 p.m., Mars in Libra conjoins the South Node at 24 degrees 57 minutes. Mars conjunct the South Node can represent a huge drain on your energy, and you may literally feel yourself kind of power down energetically. Like, who cares about the dirt under the rug anyway? Maybe we'll just cover it back up. Mars is the planet of war, aggression, and conflict, and represents what we are willing to fight for. When Mars is in Venus's sign of Libra, we may already feel this energy shift, as Mars is more diplomatic, open to other people's points of view, and more thoughtful and caring in general. Mars in Libra is said to be in his detriment or exile, because he is in the sign opposite to Aries, which he rules. So all this diplomacy and tact is unnatural for Mars. Yet, this combination of energies makes good mediators, lawyers, negotiators, and journalists. The South Node in traditional astrology represents a decrease, for good or for bad. Combine that with the already toned down Mars energy, and we may feel like things are not worth our time or energy to fight for anymore. We could emotionally feel drained about a situation, like we no longer have the drive, passion, or desire to fight, work, or strive for it. Perhaps it feels like something or someone has pulled the plug on a project and now it's just over. Or perhaps you feel like you've gotten the wind knocked out of you. It could be a very intense, draining, and powerful transit. If you'd like to go deeper into Mars conjunct the South Node in Libra, astrologer Kelly Surtees put out a fantastic podcast that I highly recommend, going over this transit and Mercury's ingress into Libra, which you can listen to here. I also made a handy graphic for you of the house affected by Mars conjunct the South Node in Libra, based on your rising sign below. Find your rising sign on the left of the chart, and in the right column, you will find the area of life where you may feel this focused energy shift. Not a single other transit perfects after Mars conjoins the South Node for 8 hours. Then at 8:08 p.m., Mercury ingresses into the sign of Libra, further emphasizing this area of our charts and the qualities of Libra. So now we have the South Node, Mars, the Sun, and Mercury all in Libra. As Kelly points out in her podcast, Mercury has been in Virgo since July 28th, which is a long time for Mercury to be in one sign, since he is such a fast planet. He will spend only 17 days in Libra, so it is going to feel really quick compared to the last 2 months. Mercury is the planet of communication, thought processes, and intelligence, and Libra is a sign that is associated with the judicial system, desiring peace, balance, and harmony by means of diplomacy, tact, and kindness. Libra is a charming, intellectual, artistic, and charismatic sign that would rather make love, not war. While Mercury is in Libra, we may all be a bit more diplomatic, tactful, and judicial in our approach, or we may notice that others are. There could be court cases in the news or major discussions about different points of view with the intention of everyone getting a fair outcome. In the late evening on Wednesday at 10:57 p.m., the moon in Gemini forms harmonious aspects to the nodes, and then about an hour later at 11:32 p.m., the moon perfects a trine to Mars in Libra. This last bookend of the day symbolizes a resolution achieved and harmony restored. Whatever issue you have been fighting for or against, that you lost drive, ambition, and energy for, will quickly come to some sort of agreement or resolution that hopefully is fair, just, and acceptable. This transit could also represent making a fast decision about something. On Thursday, the moon is in Gemini until she ingresses into Cancer at 8:31 a.m. The moon at the end of Gemini has a few things to do first before she can change signs. First, she needs to square Neptune in Pisces at 12:37 a.m., symbolizing feeling lost or confused about how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. You may be replaying dialogue in your head or writing and rewriting poetry or lyrics or whatnot. Then the moon forms a sextile to Venus in Leo at 2:34 a.m., and it's like you found the perfect word combination to express yourself, or you found the missing piece to the puzzle and the picture starts to make sense. This may also manifest as pleasant pastimes with loved ones or romantic partners, and the opportunity for love, good food, and sweet words will be in the air. At 4:31 a.m., the moon perfects a quincunx to Pluto and Capricorn, followed by a semi-square to Jupiter and Taurus retrograde at 6:40 a.m. This is about letting go of whatever you decided to let go of yesterday. Whatever Mars conjunct the South Node was all about for you, this is the period where you are trying to integrate the new information, and it may be still sending aftershocks through your head, and you may find yourself sort of obsessing over it. Again, replaying dialogue, your actions, your feelings, and feeling like there is really nothing else you can do but wait and see what happens tomorrow, the next day, and the next. So there's this feeling of limbo, and like you can't do anything but wait for the intensity to pass. You can see the big picture, but it's not time to act on it just yet. The moon makes her ingress into the sign of Cancer at 8:31 a.m., and now the energy moves from the head to the heart, and we may open up and actually feel the feelings that have been recently stirred up. The moon is at home in Cancer, and if the new information or revelations or energy shifts have left you feeling a bit lost and confused, you may really seek the comforts of home by Thursday. At 10:32 a.m., the moon in Cancer perfects a square to Mercury in Libra, indicating that we may have some stressful and heated conversations. Hopefully, the Mercury in Libra will keep these charged conversations civil and tactful, but there could be conflicts at home and arguments as we try to find safety and security. We could feel vulnerable and threatened, and because of this, very edgy and fickle. Right after this, at 10:54 a.m., the moon in Cancer forms a trine to Saturn in Pisces, symbolizing some support coming in, maybe from an older male or father figure who helps you find some comfort, or you may experience the familiar surroundings of home and family to be a great boundary for you in your vulnerable state. In the afternoon on Thursday, Mercury in Libra forms a quincunx to Saturn in Pisces retrograde, and this almost feels like a debate between young people and older people who have very different points of view, and they are forced to try to compromise, but they see things so differently it is hard and challenging. And with Mars still close to the South Node, this could indicate one side or the other giving up the fight and surrendering to the opposing side. Or this is like a situation where one generation is trying to understand a younger generation and is having a hard time with it. It reminds me of how the generations seem to have very different tastes in music, for instance. And when you talk to someone older than you, they may not understand why you like the music that you do, and you may not understand why they like the music that they like. Yet you just let it go. You don't try to force the other person to like your music, right? You just let them like what they like and let it go. The only time it may actually be an issue is if you're painting a house together or something similar and you're listening to the radio together. Then there could be a conflict and one person inevitably will have to succumb to the other's music tastes, which is a good analogy for the quincunx, but you get my point. At 4:58 p.m., the Sun in Libra forms a semi-square to Venus in Leo. Normally, Venus applies to the Sun, but since she is only traveling at 48 minutes of arc per day and the Sun is moving at 59 minutes of arc per day, the Sun is actually faster right now. This transit could represent some delays or hesitations in regard to love, affection, romance, or relationships. Maybe there is someone you like, but with the recent drama, it just doesn't seem like the right time to make the move. We finish out Thursday with Mars in Libra, forming a quincunx to Neptune in Pisces retrograde, and the Moon perfecting a semi-square to Uranus in Taurus, also still retrograde. Mars in Libra, quincunx Neptune in Pisces kind of makes me think of like a lawyer having a mental break. They've worked so hard and pushed themselves to the limits, and then it's like they get sucked into the feelings of overwhelm and they start to drown. It feels odd, like why can't they just keep on pushing? But they can't. They just don't have it in them anymore. This is probably due to the recent drain of energy or psychic plug being pulled out with Mars's conjunction to the South Node, still fresh and very close, but we can only take so much pressure before we crumble. The structures that the lawyer has built everything upon may have some cracks from the last few years, and now it's just giving way, falling down. It's a Tower card moment. We may experience something similar. The Moon in a semi-square to Uranus and Taurus feels like nothing compared to what we may have recently been through. Like a sprinkle of rain after a hurricane. It's nothing compared to the big mama storm, right? Take it with stride, whatever little setback or curveball this transit represents. Let's move on to the card for the day. What is the guidance for today? 16, the Tower. I'm not at all surprised to see this card come up given the transits. It always amazes me how spot on the tarot is. In this picture, you see a tower with a rock-solid foundation burning after being struck by lightning. You see the king and queen falling to the ground, and the king has lost his crown. This is a very violent-looking card, symbolizing that which you thought was stable, solid, and immovable being destroyed in some way. A foundational element that you depended on is no longer there. It represents receiving a message from the universe that creates a fire within you that burns out what is false, artificial, or hardened. We can no longer stay trapped in the situations that we are in, usually of our own construction. We have to liberate ourselves from the confines of our own narrow thinking, or the universe will free us in a less than pleasant way. This is the card of renovation, restoration, and destructuring of old forms. When the Tower comes up, it's a good time to be gentle with yourself as you go through major changes in your life. It's time to tell the truth and focus on the health and well-being of your body. This is representative of big changes internally that are manifesting externally, or vice versa. I think it is really fitting considering Mars's conjunction to the South Node this week, which could manifest as a shock to the system, a decrease in one's support structures, a draining of vital energy in the body, or a flushing out of old karma. We could feel like the rug is being pulled out from under us, the air has been let out of our balloon, the plug has been pulled from our tub, or the wind has left our sails. This card is a heads up that there may be an external or internal change that is very dramatic and forces transformation. We may be able to use the Mercury and Libra energy to get through this tough, painful change with tact, diplomacy, and partners. Remember that Libra is a sign that has to do with partnerships and relationships of all kinds, friendships, kinships, and lovers. It may be time to reach out to your friends when the shit hits the fan and just simply talk to them about what you're going through. And you'll probably find that they have stories of their own to share as well. Talking, journaling, and sharing our stories can be very therapeutic and healing in times of intense change. Just the simple act of knowing that you're not the only one going through hard stuff can be comforting, or looking at your natal chart and transits and seeing your situation in the signatures of the planetary aspects to your chart has an amazingly powerful effect. I wish you all the best this week, as this is a very intense card to pull for the collective. Let me know if this reading resonates with you in the comments. I hope this is helpful. Until Friday, AstroMommy. Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Transformation mugs and stickers are available in the family Etsy shop Metaphysical Flamingo. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. And today's card was pulled from the Universal Waite Tarot deck, available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the AstroMommy Newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.